Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Milner coming to you with another installment of Jewelry with Jen for the DeKalb County Library System. And today we're going to be making 3 pairs of festive earrings. We're going to make some. I wanted to do a nod to Kwanzaa, so I thought we would use some pretty Christmas trade beads to make this set of earrings. And it's going to have a funnel wrap at the top and the beads at the bottom. Just a nice little double hoop, a mini double hoop. And then we're going to do one that just has some cute little, some chain and some little beads dangling from it. Very simple and very, very party goer like. And then we have some nice, elegant, long, dangly earrings. They're all very easy to make. Let's get going because I want to put these together. These are a lot of fun and they're very, very simple. So hopefully you will enjoy them. So let's get going. Oh man, got it. So embarrassing when I do that stupid thing. Sorry. Anyway, so let's start with this one. It's got the nice little miniature funnel wrap on top. Let's get this. It's a little better. And it's got the nice trade beads around the bottom of the bottom loop. And we've just got a little double hoop earring that's not too big. So let's start with that one. So the things that we're going to need for all of our earrings, we're going to need a ruler to measure out your chain and your beads, or your chain and your wire. You're going to need round nose pliers, cutters, and chain nose pliers or flat pliers. You're also going to need an ink pen, and that's going to be for this first one. And everything that we're doing is going to require 20 gauge wire. And you need jump rings. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do, well, the first thing I'm going to do is get a couple of jump rings because I didn't put them out here. I'll be right back, just a second. Right, I did have them. I just didn't see them in my line of vision. So anyway, for this first one, we need an ink pen. We need 20 gauge wire, in this case, 5 inches, which I've already cut. You're going to need some small beads. I'm using trade beads just to match my other one, but you can use seed beads. You could use, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. You can use small crystals, 4 millimeter. I wouldn't go more than that, 3 or 4 millimeter, because these are very small hoops, very small loops. They're just the size of this ink pen. And your regular pliers. So first thing that you want to do is cut yourself 5 inches of wire, 20 gauge, and we're going to make our first little loop here. We're going to take our ink pen. I'm going to give myself about, excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my voice. I'm going to give myself about a 1/2 inch overlap here, just a little tail here to hold on to while I wrap my wire, the long end, around my ink pen. Just wrap it around the ink pen. And you can use whatever size cylindrical item you want. It just depends on how big you want your hoops to be. I'm using a regular, plain old ordinary Bic pen because I don't want my loops to be too large. So what I want is a nice round loop, and then I'm going to go past. I want to kind of go past the little X there and just overlap it a little bit. like so. So I can have a nice round circle. And then I'm going to go down. First, I'm going to check and make sure it's about the same size as my other one. Yes, very good. Then I'm going to go down here inside of the little cross place, the little V, and I'm going to make another loop with the long edge. So I'm going to wrap the long edge around my pin again. And now I have this tail underneath the loop, and this tail needs to go on top of it, on top of the other loop. So you wrap it around, this tail on top, the other tail on the bottom. And so I have two nice loops there, just like that. Now I'm going to be wrapping this long tail around the other loop. So this long tail is connected to this loop, and it's going to wrap around the loop that has the short tail. But before I do anything, I want to put my beads on. So the long tail is going to wrap around this one, and this is going to be the top of my earring. The bottom of my earring is where my beads are going to go. So my beads are going to slide down over my long tail in whatever order you like. Now, the fun part about Christmas trade beads is that they come in all different styles and colors and shapes, and they're not going to match. It's just going to be some really pretty colors. So I got as close as I could get with the same colors, but they don't have to match, and it does not matter. I think the only thing that is the same is I have two of these little blue ones, which is fine. So I'm just going to slide my beads on over my long tail until they come down to where the loop is. Let's put those on. Let's put this one on. Okay. Let's go with this little guy. Let's go with this yellow one. And red one. And it depends on how many beads you want to go in your loops. I don't have space for a whole lot of beads. What I'm doing now is kind of lifting up my tail so that my beads will slide on. There we go. Can I get the last two on? I can get one more bead on. And that's about it. Slide that one on my tail there and let it go down inside my loop, like so. The next thing I'm going to do is wrap my long tail around my other loop, because what I want to do is get this nice little funnel effect at the top there. And I just did a very short funnel, a tiny funnel. I didn't want to wrap it all the way up. I just did a couple of wraps. But you can add more wraps. You can cut your wire a little bit longer, and you can add as many wraps as you want. So what I need to do is wrap this around this loop over this short tail. So I'm going to bring my large wire. What I'm going to do is hold on to it with my pliers so that everything's nicely stable. So I'm just going to bring my wire across. Just fold it over. And I want it to go over the short tail. So there's my little short tail. And I'm wrapping that around that short tail right there at the bottom of my loop. And then I'm going to continue wrapping up the face of my loop. And what you want to do is not pull the wire, because if you do, it's going to cause the loop to fold in on itself. You don't want to do that. So you just want to fold it around, and I'll flip it over so I can see what's going on the back side. Fold my wire over. And every once in a while, I want to check and make sure my wires are side by side. Wrap that around. Squeeze that a little tighter. Right there at the bottom. So another wrap. Like so. Just check the other side. That looks good. Very nice. And let's see what it looks like up against this one. That looks good. So now I'm going to bring that tail and see how much I had left. And bring that tail around to what I'm calling the back here. So this is going to be my back side. This is going to be the front. And I'm going to clip that tail off right in the center of my loop. I'm going to take my clippers and just clip it off right in the center of my loop. I want to scoot, I like to scoot the wire away from the other wires so that I don't accidentally clip the wires that are underneath it by mistake. Clip that off. I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to push that down inside my little fennel. There we go. And now I just need to clip off this short end so that there's nothing to poke me later on. So I just want to cut that as close to my wraps as possible. And I'm going to hold on to this end so it doesn't go flying across the room. So there we go. There it is. If you want to make any adjustments, do that. And now all I need to do get that a little more rounded there. So now all I need to do is put it on an ear wire and I am ready to go. So just grab an ear wire, open it up, slide it on. Close it. And there we go. There are my earrings. Ta-da! First pair down and ready to wear. Nice, huh? Cute. So easy. Okay, next. Oh, what should we do next? Oh, let's do these. So the next we're going to do these nice dangly cascading ones. And all we need for that is a couple inches of chain and a selection of little beads. And I'm using 4mm rondelles. And no, don't need you. And I just have a bunch of little pieces of chain. And that's the perfect thing. I always say never throw out your little random pieces because you might be able to use them later. The little extra chains that I have cut and had just little pieces left over are perfect for a project like this. So if I had thrown these away, I wouldn't be able to use them on these cute little earrings. But because I had the foresight to hold on to them, I can. So all I need for this is an inch of wire, of chain, two 2-inch pieces of chain. This one's just under 2 inches, so I'm going to cut it down to an inch. There's one piece, and then get another piece, 1 inch, just like my other earrings, my other earring that I'm matching. Let's cut it down to an inch. Okay, there's my second piece. And now all I need to do is introduce these nice little crystals to the chain. And for that, I just need a few head pins. Very, very simple. And these are tiny little, I'm using these little tiny ones. You can use longer ones and just cut them down to whatever size you need. I'm just putting 8 little beads on here, 4 on each chain. See that? Just 4 little beads on each chain, and I end up with a lovely little masterpiece. And I am going to try to put them on in the same order. So on this one, let's see. First, let me go ahead and put my beads on my head pins. So what I'm going to do is take a head pin. Get this stuff out of the way so you don't have to look at that. I'm going to take a head pin, slide a bead on, like so, and take my round nose pliers. I only need about 1/2 inch in order to make a loop. So 1/2 inch to 3/8 of an inch. If it's longer than that, then it's probably too long. So I'm going to cut that down to about where I want it. And it's just a tiny little cut. That's all I need to cut off. Right. And I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to go about 1/3 of the way down my pliers because I don't really need a large loop. And I'm just going to rotate until I have a closed loop on top of my bead. There we go. And now see how my loop is kind of going over to the side of my bead instead of right in the center where I want it. The way I can fix that is to just take my pliers, put the tip of my pliers in my loop. Trying to get this thing to focus. Sorry. I think I'll bring it down a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Put the tip of my pliers in my loop. and just bend back until my loop is right centered on top of my bead, like so. And let's do the next one. Okay, let's do this nice bright green one. Put my bead on. Another way you can do it is to go ahead and bend your wire back at almost a right angle, and then make your loop. Just rotating until I have a full circle, full closed loop. And then adjust that loop back so that it's right in the middle of my bead. There we go. And I just need to do that with all of my beads, all 8. Again, this one's a little long, so I'm going to clip it off down to about 1/2 inch. Make my loop. Just going to grab the tip of my wire about 1/3 of the way down my pliers and just rotate until I have a nice loop. And then bend it back until it's nicely centered on top of my bead. Make sure it's closed up. Nice and tight. Here we go. And next. And I just used some nice, what I thought were holiday colors. I used red and green and clear crystal, some amber, kind of a gold color. And I have this nice kind of cloudy one, which I thought was really pretty. Let's make all my little loops. Again, grabbing the tip of my head pin, rotate until I have a loop, and then make whatever corrections I need to make. Bend it back until it's centered and nice and closed. Here we go. Next. Another pretty topaz one. Make my loop. Adjust it to the center. And, oh, pretty red one. Okay. Loop. This is very, very repetitive and very easy. Just do the same thing over and over until you have all of your beads wrapped or looped. And that is the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. So now we're going to put them on my chains. So this one has gold, green, clear, and red. And what I did was just kind of, you can space them out any way you want. I wanted mine to be a little bit random so that they don't kind of bump into each other. And the other thing is you can have as many tiers as you want. You can even make them longer than I'm making. This was just, I had them a little bit longer and I cut it down to 1 inch because I thought it was pretty. And some people don't like really, really, really long earrings. And with all the little danglies on them, this turned out to be a nice length. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put our beads on our chain. So what we want to do is open our loop up. Make sure that's flush together. Okay, so we want to open our loop up. You just open it up to the side like that. And then decide where you want it to go on your chain. Yeah, I think I'll go down 3 little rings. You can make this very random or you can make it very planned. It's up to you. Okay, and then I've attached it to my chain. Now I'm going to close that loop back up. Okay, there's my first one. The next one is green, the darker green. Open up my loop. Attach it to my chain. I'm going to go down a couple of lengths and attach. Close it up. Okay, and then the next one is the clear. Open it. Now I have a little more space between my loop and my bead that I like. Get this to, there we go. See that little space down there? I don't want that. So I'm going to snip off a little bit of my loop, just a tiny bit. See, now I have an opening there. And when I close it back up, that will take care of that little space that was in there. So I'm going to put my pliers back in. I'm going to close up my loop. And now I don't have that great big space. I have a little bit of space, but I can deal with that. That's fine. Now I'm going to open up again. Attach my nice little red bead. Close it up. I mean my clear bead. Sorry, I'm not colorblind, I promise. And the last but not least is going to be my red one. That's going on the bottom. We have a red bead. Open up my loop. And put that on the very last link at the bottom of my chain. Close it up. And there's my first dangle. Neat, huh? Cute. Now I need to do the same thing on the other side. Now this one has this frosty one first, and then the red, and then the green, and then the topaz on the bottom. So let's open up this little frosty one. Okay. Let me put that on and go down. I'll go down about 2 links because the other one I went down 3 links, and this way they'll be more spread out, not bumping up against each other all in a clump. Close that up. Go on to the next one, which is red. Open up my loop. I'm going to go down a couple more links. I'll go down 3. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Let's go down 3 links. That's 4. Let's go up 1. There we go. Close it up. Next is green. I have this nice little light green. Let's open that one up. Go down a couple of links. And close. Last but not least is going to be my topaz. Open it up and attach it to the last ring at the very bottom. There it is. And close. Okay, so there are my two little links, 2 little chain links. There we go. And these are going to be mirror imaged. For this type of earring, it doesn't really make as big a difference in regard to how I put my ear wire on. But usually if you're making earrings that are the same, they're supposed to be mirror image of each other so that when you put them on your ears, they the pattern is going the same direction on each ear. You don't want to make the mistake of having your earrings look like they're backwards. Okay, so there we go. Now all I need to do is grab a jump ring. Okay. Let's open that up. Oops. Okay, now the proper way to open a jump ring. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. The right way is to take your pliers, put them on one side of the opening here. Here's my opening right there. And then I'll take my thumb and push down on the other side, the side that's on the other side of the opening, until I have a nice open jump ring. Then I'm going to take grab one of my links, one of my chains. I'm going to slide my jump ring on the very last link at the top, and grab the other one and do the same with the other chain. Snag that very top link. There we go. I think I was off camera, so I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to grab the very top link of one of my tiers, or one of my dangles, and you want to make sure that you grab the very top link there. So I'm going to go right in the very top link of my chain, and then go to the other one, and again go into the very top link of my chain. And then I'm going to close my jump ring. And I find the easy way to do that, if you've opened it the way I showed you, is to just take your flat pliers and squeeze it closed. And then make any adjustments that you need to. If it's a little open there, squeeze it closed. So they're nice and flush together. And then all you need to do, see that, there's my other earring. All I need now, ta-da, is an ear wire. So I'm just going to grab an ear wire. I'm going to open it up the same way I showed you how to open up that jump ring. Oh, come on, focus, focus. This isn't making you dizzy. There, I think that's a little better. Okay, so there's my little opening there. And all I need to do is hold on to the ear wire part and flip that up until it's open. There, got a nice little gap there now. And slide it onto my jump ring. And close it. Make sure it's nice and tightly closed with no gaps. And there are my earrings. Aren't those great? Those are very, very, very festive looking. So easy to do. All right, we have one more to go. So now we're going to make these little elegant ones. I love these, are so pretty and so simple. And for that, we need 2 pieces of 20 gauge wire, 1 4-inch and 1 5-inch. Now that is the size that I used. It depends on the size of the spiral that you want to make. If you want to make a bigger spiral, you can use more wire. If you want to use a smaller spiral, use less wire. But I would cut myself long enough so that if it's big enough, you can just cut off what you don't need. And again, save it. Cut off what you don't need, because if you cut too little, then you just have to start over. So I'm giving myself 4 inches of wire and 5 inches of wire. Now I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This is a little longer than 5 inches because I had this piece left over as scrap. So it's a little longer, as you can see. This is the 4-inch, and this is a lot longer than 5 inches. But I'm going to show you how to make your little spirals and then attach it again to a jump ring and an ear wire after you apply your little bead. So the first thing I want to do is make my spiral. So I'm going to take my pliers, my round nose pliers, and I'm going to grab the tip of my wire, and I'm going to make a nice open spiral. So I'm going to grab the tip of my wire and just make a tiny loop, just a small loop for my center. Just like we did our loops for our earrings. Except that this time I'm going to continue looping and wrapping my wire around itself to create a spiral. So you can see where I've started my loop and I've continued to wrap past the tip. So now I'm going to continue wrapping the wire around itself. I'm going to check because I want to make it as close to the other one as possible. And it's not going to be exact because that is the beauty, that is the artistic beauty of it. But you want to get it as close as you can get. So I'm going to continue wrapping until I have a spiral that's very similar to the other one. Again, I'm just wrapping the wire around itself, like so. Let's take a look. It's very close. This one's a little bit tighter. So what I want to do is squeeze my wires a little closer together. So in order to do that, I'm going to put my pliers inside, and I'm just going to squeeze it until the wires are closer to each other, the little rings. Just make them a little closer, like so. So now it looks a little more like that one. It could be a little closer together. Just squeeze it until I have it the way I want. That looks good. I think I need one more half a loop because this one has 1, 2, and then a half. This one, counting from the tip, has 1. Let's get in there and keep wrapping. Keep another loop. Yeah, I'll just use my fingers. I don't usually like to use my fingers on camera because you can't see what I'm doing. But when it gets to be big enough, I can just use my fingers and wrap it around. Like so. That's pretty good. Make this loop a little smaller to match the other one. In order to do that, I just take my pliers and squeeze it a little smaller. Check it again. Squeeze. There we go. Not too bad. There we go. Now what I want to do, 1, 2 and a half, 1, 2 and a half, perfect. So now what I want to do is bend this wire back until my straight edge is right in the center of my spiral. So there's my center right there. And so what I'm going to do, you can either use your fingernail to do it, or you can take your pliers and just put them right there in the middle of my spiral and bend that wire until it's straight up like that. Nice. And now you can see, I told you I had a lot more than I needed. I had a good 6.5 inches, and look at how much I have left. And I'm going to be able to use that. Yay. So now what I want to do is just make a simple loop up here. And all I need for that is about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut that off down to about 1/2 inch and make my loop. Okay, there's about where the bottom of the loop should be. Give myself about 1/2 inch above that. Clip it off. See that? That will be nice for something else. And now I'm going to make my loop at the top after I put my bead on. Now, what I like to do, just to make sure this is nice and straight, is just take my flat pliers, straighten it out. If you have one of those fancy schmancy straightener things, you can use that. But honestly, I just use the tip of a piece of fabric and just straighten it out. It works for me. Then the other thing I like to do is take my little rubber mallet and do this to strengthen it. That helps to strengthen my wire so that it doesn't get bent over time. Plus, it straightens out those little curves. See how straight it is now? Now I am ready to make my loop. So I'm going to go in. Now this one is directional. So this one is my spiral is going to, I'm not sure how left or right on the camera. It's going that way. So I want this one to go the opposite direction. So there's my loop is going back. My spiral is going that direction. So I want this spiral to go this direction. So that when I put them on my ears, they're both going the same way. And I don't look like I made a mistake. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to make my little loop, go back about a third of the way down my pliers. Make sure the tip of my wire isn't sticking out the back. My loop is going right and left, and my spiral is going right and left. My loop is going front to back. So I'm going to make my little loop. Just rotate until I have a nice closed loop, like so. And then notice how it's leaning off to the side. Take my pliers, put the tip into my loop, bend it back until it's nicely centered on top of my wire, and close up my loop. See that? There's my other ear, the top part of my other earring. Now, what did I forget to do? Didn't I say I have to put a bead on this? Yes, I did not do that. So I'm going to have to open up my loop again. Doggone it, Virginia. Open my loop. Grab my bead, my nice red bead, very Christmassy looking. I'm not opening it all the way. I'm going to see if I can cheat and get it on without completely opening up my loop. I might be able to, and I might not. Doesn't look like it. To get some of the curve out so it'll slide on. Nope. It's saying nope. You screwed up. You're just going to have to fix it. Yep. I have to straighten it all the way. Nope. Oh, goodness gracious. There is no cheating. No cheating allowed. Let's see if this will do it. I don't want to straighten it out anymore. There! Yay! Yay, it worked! Okay, let's check again. We're going that way. Make my little loop again. Okay. Roll it back so that it's not listing off to the side. Putting that tip in there. bend it back. And there we go. Yay. Yes. Now we need to do the other one, the exact same thing, except this one's shorter, of course. So now we're going to make another spiral, tip of my pliers, tip of my wire, nothing sticking out the back, make a small loop. Okay, there's my little loop. I'm going to keep going. I think I want my loop to be a little bit smaller. Yes, this loop is smaller. So what I'm going to do is take my flat pliers and give it a little squeeze. Now, if you do this, be very careful. You don't want to squeeze too much. Give it a little squeeze. There we go. And I'm going to continue to wrap the wire around itself until I have a nice little spiral to match the other one. Let's take a look here. Squeeze that in a little bit more. Yes. Keep wrapping. And again, oops, once you get to a certain point, you can use your fingers. You check, see what it looks like. I'm going to squeeze these little rings a little closer together, like the other one, just to match it up. Just pushing the edges together a little tighter. And I can use my fingers and continue to wrap my wire around itself until I have the size spiral that I want. Almost there, about a quarter of a wrap more. And I think we're going to be good. Ta-da! Look at that. Awesome. Yes. All right, so now we want to do the same thing that I did on the other one, which is bend it back until I have a nice straight edge, straight tail from the center of my spiral. Here's the center of my spiral right here. And I'm going to bend it back. Just take the tip of my pliers. Right there in the center of my spiral. And bend it back until it's straight up. Like so. Now I'm going to straighten it out a little bit. Use my little hammer and do my little trick. There we go. Good. And now this one is a little shorter, of course. There's the bottom of my other loop. Give myself another ½ inch. Clip it off. holding on to my tail. And see, I still have more left that I can use for something else. Slide my bead on. See, I remembered this time. Put my bead on. It's going to go there. Make my loop. Grab my round nose pliers. Slide my wire on. Down my pliers about a third of the way again. Rotate until I have a little loop. And then put the tip of my pliers in and bend my loop back until it's centered right over my wire. Nicely centered. Here we go. Yes. So now let's just put on our jump rings. Grab a jump ring. Do you need a jump ring for this one or no? Yeah, jump ring. Hey. Oops. And all right. So now time to open the jump. Oops, come back here. Time to, oh, it is determined. I mean, I have a jumper. A jumper, that's a jump ring. It doesn't want to stay with me. It keeps trying to do a swan dive off the end of the table. Okay, so what I want to do is open my jump ring again. And what's the proper way to open your jump ring? I showed you one way, now I'm going to show you another. Take your pliers, grab on one side of the opening. Here's my opening here. Last time I used my thumb and pushed down. This time I'm going to use another pair of pliers. Grab the other side and twist. Same thing, just a different way to open. And now I have a nice, perfectly open jump ring. And I'm going to put on my dangles. So the way it goes is the little one goes first on the jump ring. The short one goes first. And the long one goes second. So for this side, we go backwards. The long one goes first. Oops. Long one goes first. And the short one goes second. And close it. And grab an ear wire. Again, open it up. There's a little opening. Just flip it up. And slide it on my jump ring. Check, make sure they're going the right direction. Small one on the outside, long one on the inside. Small one on the back side, long one on the inside. Everything's good. And close it up. Close up my loop. And there, ladies and gentlemen, are my earrings. Aren't those great? They're so pretty. I love it. So let's get them all down here where we can see them. Okay, it's one pair. Flip. Get them away, right? Go over here. When they're on your ears, they'll just automatically go the way they're supposed to go. There. Oh my goodness, all of that work. And my others, here we go. Cute. And last but not least, my cascades. There they are. 3 pairs of lovely festive earrings. We've got our Christmas, we've got our Kwanzaa. Lovely, we are ready to go. We're ready to party. Yay, yay, yay. I love it. So pretty. Oh, I love these little Christmas trade beads. Oops. Yeah. And the cascades. Neat, huh? So much fun. The things you can do in about an hour are just amazing. And if you're going out to dinner, you can make one of these things in about 15 minutes, a pair of these in about 15, 20 minutes. If you have an outfit that you want to match, if you want particular colors, like I said, these don't have to be holiday colors. I just thought it would be really nice to do a few sets of earrings that you can use for the holiday or use for anything really. It depends on your own color scheme. It's all up to you. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you will make some earrings. If you do, let me see them. I want to see, I want to see, I want to see. So if you do, please post them on the library Facebook page, or you can send them to me at jewelryGin, JEWELRYGIN20 at gmail.com. I hope to see it. I hope we see you later. Give me some feedback. Let me know if there was anything that you didn't understand. If I strayed off camera too much or anything like that, let me know. I know it happens. And if there's any questions that you have, please feel free to email me, because I am perfectly willing to answer any questions that you might have if I can answer them. So until next time, have a great week. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your holidays that are coming up. And we'll see you when we see you. At this point, I think it's going to be about the new year before we see you again after this particular video comes out. So until then, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, and see you later. Bye-bye.